What's up, YouTube? This is Red Develosa from Red Develos Reviews. I'm back here again with Shaq from 301 Reacts. What's up, Shaq?
Yes, it's a good vibe. We're just experimenting, with our shows right now. It's not real. We're watching the Bad Batch. Watching Loki. That Loki review's coming very soon. It's only 6 episodes. We'll see what it's like. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll get right into it. The Bad Batch is a sequel to Star Wars The Clone Wars. It's had 7 seasons. It ended last year. Uh, and now we have a continuation of in the season 7 they had the Bad Batch, which was a group of clones that have a genetic mutation, which makes them different from the other clones that
I
we've
think
seen.
they said desirable genetic mutation. So like
Yeah,
these mutations,
so you got like Hunter, who has super senses, Wrecker is super strength, Tech is super smart, and Crosshair is a sharpshooter. And Echo is a part of the team. He's not really mutated. I mean, he's mutated, but he's not like a genetically
he's
mutated.
like a cyborg. He's like the closest one in the team to like a robot.
Yeah,
Which is
pretty
funny
much.
because they're clones, but yeah.
And there's a new character there. We'll get to that person in a bit. So yeah, D. Bradley Baker is returning for the voices of the clones. He did the voices of all the clones that you've heard in the Clone Wars, like every single one of them. So like when you see like Rex and Cody, and then you see Fives and all these other clones, like he's doing the voice himself, and that's really impressive. Like because like you can kind of like hear the differences of each of the clones as their own person, but you also, based on the voice acting alone, you can tell like this is a different character from the other clone that you looked at, even though they all look the same. So that's really impressive. So he's back again for that, and basically we start off.
Well,
It's
let
yeah,
me get that out of the way. So I'm kind of so on the like the entire 8 episodes because like we're gonna talk about like all these episodes have a formulaic process where it's like you can basically predict how the episode's gonna go, except for the first
yeah,
and the last one. Like or like the episode 1 and episode 8 because there's like different things. So episode 1 starts out I'd say really good.
I think episode one starts off pretty solid. Like it's the end of the Clone Wars, and then Order 66 is about to happen. They bring back a Jedi from the Phantom Menace, Depa Billaba, and her apprentice, which is young Kanan. Um, those of you from Rebels fans would know that's him. And yeah, so the Bad Batch is working with them. They take out a lot of droids on their own. Um, then you get the Order 66, and you see all the clones that were there. They're turning, except for the Bad Batch. Well, actually, the Bad Batch, they don't. They're not inclined to follow the Order 66, but Crosshair he does.
Crosshair is like fighting it. It's like basically it's like the Order 66. It's like the mind control with the inhibitor chip because they have the desirable genetic mutations. Their inhibitor chips are like broken or like different or something like that, right?
Yeah,
So basically, it ends with I guess Devil Belana fighting off the things. She's telling her apprentice Kanan, young Kanan, to like run, and he starts running, right? And like he doesn't trust anyone, and you have like Hunter, who's like enhanced senses and reflexes, like tracking him down, and it gets to a part where it's basically like Hunter kind of lets him go because it's like because like I think Crosshair asked like why'd you let him go or something like how was
he
he
was
able to
asking
escape
like,
these
did he fall off the cliff? And he said,
yeah
yeah.
or something like
Like
that
Crosshair doesn't know at all.
because Crosshair is still like so Crosshair is still technically good at this point. So I think he's like getting like impulses from like the inhibitor chip, but he's not like fully controlled. He's not like a mind washed slave or something like that.
Yeah,
But so basically, this just shows you like Crosshair's impression of Hunter is like so high. There's like there's no way he got away.
But
unless you let him get away, there's no way because you're so he's such because Hunter is a hunter, like with his reasons and thing. There's no way he got away. You can track him anywhere. Like there's
uh,
like so he
so
must die.
we are gonna touch a bit about of these super skills that they have. I
It
feel
actually.
like a bit
Oh,
of
I'm
it
sorry.
has been inconsistent at some points, especially like Hunter and Wrecker. But we'll get into that. So just to like actually clarify, this is like the halfway season point. So like this, we're talking about the first 8 episodes. Then there's another 8 episodes afterwards, and we'll deal about that. We'll talk about that later. Yeah. So they go back to Camino, and they learn that the Empire has taken over the Republic, and Admiral Tarkin, you've seen him from A New Hope, also Rogue One. He's taking control for the they're trying to get an army for the Empire, and he asked the Bad Batch to like train and see what they can do, and yeah, they surprise him with his with their abilities that they're able to work together even in really difficult situations. So you have that. Then you also have like Tarkin also asks the team to go to a planet and kill all the insurgents there. It turns out the insurgent was Saw Gerrera. If you guys remember from Clone Wars, he was a rogue combatant against the. Well, he's like he has his own beliefs of what the Republic should be and all that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but
And
they
basically
don't kill
when
him.
it goes there.
Yeah,
But the only person that's like struggling with the idea of like he's like it's like the whole thing that good soldiers follow orders. That's like that like is Crosshair. Crosshair is like still kind of fighting. He's like we were sent here to do a mission. We didn't finish the mission. This that and the third. So when they get back, I think it's the Camino. It's like basically like Tarkin like after status report is like we couldn't kill him or whatever. It's like basically it gets to the point where it's like all right. So Tarkin's like he knows this clone group is really good or whatever, like because like how they think and like how strong they are. So he's like, all right, so I'm just gonna like reset your inhibitor chips,
yeah.
and like we have the whole process where they're like locked up, and if for some reason Crosshair's like,
So they
yeah,
amplify Crosshair's inhibitor chip.
so Crosshair Crosshair actually wants to do it, which is like he's like the only one. Everybody likes their like unique personality and stuff like that, except Crosshair, because Crosshair is still like getting impulsed by his inhibitor chip. So Crosshair's the first to change.
Yeah, and so throughout the episode, there's this little girl who keeps watching the Bad Batch, and
We're gonna talk about her.
we'll
We're
talk
gonna
about
talk
her.
about her.
But
It's
eh,
she's another negative part of the thing. It's not that we don't we like female characters. She's just a very annoying. So if she was a boy, she'd be very annoying. So it's not even like
yeah, like
yeah, it's
you can't put
Omiko.
that card on us. You can't cancel us. All right, so there you
So
go.
she is
Anyways,
very she's very annoying.
actually, it kind of leads up to her, to be honest, because that's the end of the episode where she joins them. Well, we learned that this particular person, Omega, is her name. She is also a genetic defect of the clones, which now I have my own questions about that. How exactly do you take the XY chromosomes of Jango Fett and, make that a female? Where does the second X come from? Unless we talk
That's
about
her
that
thing.
syndrome where it's one X chromosome, that is possible, but I highly doubt that. So that doesn't make any sense to me. So unless she's paired with another genetic material, that doesn't really
It's also I
make
also
sense to me.
thought don't aren't clones aren't they also like born like adult or some shit like that? Like why
So
is she
so they double in age. So like
oh, they
if
double
they
okay.
in one year they're 2, 2 years they're 4, like that.
Okay.
So the idea is like she's technically 5, 5 years, like she's grown, but she looks like a 10-year
And
old. That's kind of the idea. Um, yeah. So she joins the team. Crosshair, his inhibitor chip is already like fully blasted. He's not going to listen to the team, so they leave him behind. They take Omega with them, and then they go off. Now, in terms of the episode, I think it was pretty solid as a start. I think there's a few questions that is obviously going to be there, but it's like, okay, fine. I can.
So
It's a
so
season. I can
this
deal with that.
these first two or three episodes are really good, in my opinion. But then it just gets like formulaic, where it's like the next couple, like up until episode 8, it's like Omega leaves, goes, or Omega's curious. They stop somewhere to refuel or get materials or some shit, right? They stop on some planet. She gets like curious because she's like so young, and she goes off, and they have to find her, and like it's like like it's like for the next 3 or 4 episodes, there's just this shit, which is
And it's
like, yeah,
just
you can do
this is the
this.
pro. It's like Omega is curious about stuff, and she does something that she shouldn't have done, and then the team has to save her. That was a few episodes in a row. Like even episode 2, like I'll put that. So they bring back Cut from Clone Wars. He was the one clone that deserted the war and had his own retirement. So they brought him back. Um, and they had this whole thing about how like they want to travel off the planet so that way they could be away from the Empire, but they need chain codes in order to do that. So they steal it, and Hunter has the opportunity to, get rid of Omega in our sense, but in their sense, it's they had the opportunity to give Omega a peaceful life because she's not a soldier. She's
She's
just
a
a
kid.
kid.
Well, technically, I guess it's debatable because technically she is cloned from Jango Fett's DNA. So technically, she is a clone, and like they're like bred for war or something like that.
Yeah,
But
as
she's
far
a
as we've
way.
seen,
I
from
mean, I
episode
mean,
2 and then even until now, episode
yeah.
8, she's not
They
she's
are
not a
trying to make
soldier.
her. They are trying to make her more self sufficient. Like what's called when they give her that. I do like her weapon. It's like the little laser bow. It's like the
Yeah, the bow
purple
and
laser.
arrow.
I mean, it's like I didn't know you had laser bows and arrows. I've never seen this weapon. I've seen a lot of Star Wars and I've never seen this thing. It's cool, and like I
Yeah,
guess it makes sense. It kind of gives me like what is it, God of War vibes, where it's like the
God of
sun has
War.
a little bow. It
And then in
it's
Last of Us,
it
Ellie also
yeah.
used a bow and arrow. I don't know what
It's kind
I
of
think it's kind of weird though. Like for me, it's like there's
yeah
always a
because
kid
everybody
character
else
that
has a
has the bow
blast.
and arrow. It's like I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of
I,
strength you need in order to
yeah,
pull it back.
that's what they said because when she was aiming it, she didn't have enough. She only shoot it straight like twice because she didn't have
Yeah,
enough strength. I don't even understand how you're supposed to pull back like energy. All right, whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I, another thing that I've seen that they were trying
So
to do is like
now,
they're
like
trying to show.
I do want to say this one thing though. Like in episode 2, there was a time when like Hunter was like trying to get her to join with Cut. Cut has like he has a wife, he has 2 kids. Omega could be with them. They're nice people, nice kids. They're having fun in the playground, in the front yard. Have all that fun, and it's a peaceful life. I mean, because yeah, like war. I mean, yeah, it's an adventure going planet to planet, but like he's it's not meant for her. So, but then there's a point in the episode where they're in a crossfire with some of the stormtroopers, and then all of a sudden, she yells out, "I'm coming with you!" And one revealing her location, they're shooting at her. Hunter almost gets killed. In that, I was like, "Oh my!" I My brother heard me like I was audibly saying like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Because like yeah, she just one. It's so corny. I'm coming with you. And like another thing, she gave up a peaceful life to go to war when she doesn't know how to fight. That's my problem. And it's like,
So
uh,
I guess her reasoning, because it didn't make any sense, is like she started saying like, because they try to do this with like Hunter, even first episode, like
they're trying to
Hunter
do
is
this
kind of like
father daughter
the
thing.
father figure almost of the group. Like he tried to like reason with Kanan, and he's trying to reason with Omega and protect Omega. And I guess Omega, because Omega said like we're like the same, because I think Omega knows that like they're like similar. So maybe she wants to be around people of her own kind or something, like other defective clones. I guess it's like you if other people exist out there in the galaxy, you want to meet them. It's kind of like I like this movie. It's kind of like what is it Hercules, where Hercules wants to go off and find like the other gods and stuff because he's clearly different. So she's clearly different. She's like the only like
Yeah.
I guess that's my assumption. Like
So it's like my thing is like if Omega was a decent character, I would have probably.
I
That's
understand. It's
that's
like
really it's really and then it's like yeah, it's episode 2, but when we keep going, I just can't stand her because again, like when we keep going, like in the next episode, a dragon steals their energy
yeah,
thing, and then all of a sudden, Hunter is known for his super
like
senses, but he
his
doesn't
senses and reflexes. He
his
gets snuck up
reflexes
on and gets knocked out, or like the oxygen this thing or whatever gets knocked out, and Omega has to go
and
and
save
find this
save the
shit.
day, basically.
Like and like she saves the day because she's Omega. Because when she finds the dragon or whatever the creature is, she doesn't like shoot at it. Because even though she has his blaster, she like befriends it and pets it. And then the dragon like gives her the thing that they wanted. And it's like, because that makes sense. Like even though she has a blaster and they shot at it before, it doesn't make any like I'm like, okay. But I know you're trying to make Omega a part of the group, and that's like how she contributes like her
Yeah, but like,
humanity or whatever.
don't do this to Hunter. Like
Like
Hunter is known for his super senses, and he gets knocked out by a dragon because he didn't notice it. That's his thing. That's his thing. Um, yeah, I did not like that. And then uh, another thing in the episode, they have Tarkin. He's getting well he makes Crosshair the leader of his new group of people that he wants to do. He
oh,
wants to
is this when they're like
kill Saw
is this when
Gerrera's
Tarkin
men.
yeah oh is this when Tarkin hires the mercenaries and the
Yeah,
mercenaries says
yeah.
we're here to fight soldiers not civilians and then this is tough because
That
but
was
then
tough.
like Crosshair's like basically like I don't give a fuck like good soldiers follow orders and he kills him and then he tells all the other
Anybody
mercenaries like
else have a problem?
torch like anybody else have a problem like I want to kill you basically and then he's like all right so torch them so it's like they kill like the civilians it's kind of fucked up but it's like it's kind
Yeah,
of tough. It's like you see how different Crosshair is from the rest of the group. Like he's like damn near like a killing machine, like actually a killing robot. He just like and even a mercenary who is paid to do this can see that it's like fucked up that we just kill random civilians, even if they don't believe in us or whatever. Because like the mercenary was obviously fine. He said, I was bought to kill soldiers. I don't want to kill like civilians." So it's like that's kind of like
which is like interesting to me because like the only thing is like we don't have enough development from Crosshair like as like a character prior. I mean, we did have the 4 episodes in Bad Batch. I mean, in the Clone Wars season 7. So, but like, I mean, I don't know if that's enough to show that he was a good person, and then this descent again. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but I do like how they do have that at least like with a character that we at least have seen before, and how they react to the inhibitor chip and how they're going along with
yeah,
yeah, good soldiers follow orders and all that.
basically
So
like kill like
yeah,
basically like kind of like a like a massacre of just ran like people like there they are a part of like Saw Gerrera's camp, but they're not like the soldiers in there, which is kind of crazy.
they're
But like
just
that's just like no,
refugees. Yeah,
that's just war. So it's like you can't like
right.
you don't want any of these like people or kids. Like I think there was also kids there that like what you call it, grow up and like be like the rebellion's hero or something like that. So I understand like you want to get rid of a problem before it exists, but
Right.
it's still kind of
And then
fucked up.
yeah. So like Tarkin, he's saying like after this thing, he realizes that he believes that they should really go for like they should hire mercenaries instead of using clones. And the Kaminoans, they don't like that because like apparently in their original deal, they promised to provide clones for the new empire, but Tarkin argues that well that was like when the empire wasn't a thing, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
make sense to that.
But that,
So they're
but
trying to
see
find a
that
contingency plan of
yeah,
I think they said
yeah, but
like
because
they were trying
this
to
is
find a
actually
way to uh, do it again, but because their Jango Fett DNA strand is like is thinning more and more, so like they need to figure out how to do it again, which is why I
this
think
is
like maybe that
this is
might be Boba Fett. I don't know.
no, personally I saw this as like the Kaminoans like trying to ensure like their own future like because they know that once the empire does not need them anymore they not like you're now what do they call it um what's the word where it's like oh, you're now a loose end. So I'm pretty sure the Kaminoans know intuitively like how the Empire activates. Like if we don't need you anymore for our stormtroopers, we're gonna like get rid of you basically, like, regardless of like you know what I'm saying. So like
Yeah.
that's just how like the Empire's been like rolling, especially with like targets. So it's like they're trying to like that's why I'm not even gonna say like financially, like because I feel like the Kaminoans are gonna be like they can find other ways to work with their cloning and shit like that. But it's like the fact that like if you stop using our soldiers, you're gonna kill us. Like I feel like that's how they
Like
see
the,
it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think they believe that too. So yeah.
Yeah,
So they're
yeah.
trying to also talk about a way of like, getting the strand again. So which is why I think like Boba Fett might be tied to that in a way, since this is like after Clone Wars. Boba Fett is the only clone that isn't like he isn't modified to age every 2 years.
No, wait. This is something I think. It's something I was thinking about, but I didn't really. Maybe that's why. Because I'm skipping ahead. Maybe that's why in season 8, Cad Bane kidnaps Omega because they're gonna. Maybe they're using her DNA strand instead because
Or
she's
maybe
like,
she wasn't aged up. Maybe. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
So
not.
maybe
I'll have to wait and see.
I, I mean, that's a lot of like because the whole reason is that like regular clone troopers aren't as good as mercenaries, but like Crosshair and like the genetically defective clones are like way better than mercenaries because they have their own abilities, right? So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
maybe their DNA strands gonna be based
I
off of
mean,
like
unless they say that like Jango Fett asked for a son, but he also asked for a daughter. I really hope they don't do that. Um,
I don't
or
know if they're gonna.
twins. I don't know. I really hope they don't do that. Because Boba Fett is still a kid relatively at this time, but like I still think Boba Fett is older than her, so I don't know if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah. The next episode you have they bring back the Asian bounty hunter from Mandalorian, Fennec Shand or Shand, I don't know, and like she's hunting Omega and all that. And again, like I just don't like when they keep doing it. Like Omega does something stupid, and then they have to save her every time because like
Wasn't there like an episode when they said like Omega needs to like they were trying to leave and it's or like the ship was about to blow up or some shit. It's like everybody off this ship is like no Omega's still on this ship. It's like why are you still on this ship? Why are you still on this ship? It was something like that. It was like the ship was about to blow up or like get shot at. And it's like she was still on it or
we're
something
still
like
on
that.
it.
Like,
Uh,
when it's predictable, she can do like goofy kid stuff, but when it's predictable, it's like why, bro? Like I
yeah,
know she's a kid and I know this is like
but
realistic,
it's like,
like or
and it's
some shit.
like, and my other thing is like, what gives me a problem is like people say like Ahsoka used to be annoying, but like she became cool afterwards. Ahsoka was not this annoying. Like I'm sorry, Ahsoka was not this annoying. Now maybe it's because I was 8 years old. I never found her annoying, to be honest. Like
A whole other thing is like another thing is Ahsoka at a younger age was more like suitable for like she was a
for
like
war.
yeah she was a Padawan, but like she could like fight, she could like kill like the droids and she like she wasn't like crazy as she wasn't as good as she is later on in Clone Wars,
Of
like when she's
course, but
like
yeah,
dueling Asajj Ventress and stuff like that. But she was still like capable of like holding her own in most interactions that were like if you were a fodder person at the beginning of Clone Wars, she could like kind of fight you, right? But it's
yeah,
like
yeah. I mean, like, cause like, yeah, she knew Plo Koon as a young girl, so like she was aware of the war and like what's been happening. She knows like she's learned like different things, and then by the time we meet her in like episode 1 with Anakin, she at least knows something of like
yeah.
about the war, something at least knowing how to fight. She gets a lot better and better, and then she gets more mature as she gets older, which of course will happen. I'm just saying that comparing Omega to Ahsoka is not really fathomable to me because like I just don't like. Yeah, everybody can grow. That's true, but I just feel like if she's too annoying. Susceptible. She's susceptible to change, and I don't know. Like what I also don't like is like they always keep giving her this petty rewards, like I was struggling to fire a bow and arrow. Now at the end of this episode, I can fire the arrow perfectly fine, which is like I mean can you really draw up strength in a bow caster or whatever? Can you really do that by the end of the same episode? I don't know. Like I feel like
I
strength
mean, you got to
and
think, you
doing
got to
that would.
remember, she grows what you call it? What is it? 2 times faster. So like that one day is like 2 days. So like 2 days of like lifting in the gym. I don't know, so I don't know. It's very different.
I suppose. Yeah, we just hate little girls, I guess.
I'm
Makes
not. I'm not
sense.
even gonna. So like what was another? I'm not even gonna say like little girls when they understand that like shit is going on and like you can't like you basically you're like you can't be a normal kid. Like Aang was a goofy kid. Toph was a goofy kid. Like they're like 12, so they're 2 years older than Omega, right? But it's like Aang wanted to do shit, like for instance, like ride the elephant koi, right? That's very childish. But it's like,
Yeah.
but it's like after he had these first experiences, like they started playing it safer and safer to the point where, and he wasn't stupid. Like he did, like he was kind of like a little the word naive to like the extent of the war at first, but once he figured out like this war is a war, like when he figured out like I'm the last airbender, like it was kind of like a realization of Angler where he's like he stopped becoming goofy and was more like on his stuff. Like the same with Toph, right? Well,
Yeah.
Toph honestly did not
Well,
really ever change. Like she at
right.
least knew she at least knew what the fuck was up. Like I feel like Omega lives in a world where it's like we're gonna go on trips and adventures, and this is like how my life is supposed to be, or some shit, and and like I don't
It's
know.
like it's not like Hunter is like a hardened badass that like he needs to be like molded by an innocent girl. It's not like that. He's kind of susceptible. I hate saying that word. He's kind of like flexible when it comes to his like what happens in the war. Like he's not like the reason why Joel and Ellie worked so well is because Joel was like he was like very hardened and badass from all the killings that he had to do for 20 years. And then when you have Ellie, the innocent girl, she's still able to fight, but like she still like chips away at him and then he becomes more and more sensitive as the game goes on. And I'm just saying like Hunter isn't like that though. Like Hunter isn't like he isn't like completely like devoted to the war. He's not like yes he is, but he's not like a character that needs to learn how to be a father. Like I don't see like where that connection came from. Um, because
It's
like
also like I guess with Joel and Ellie, it's just them two. But like with this thing, like as
there's
we
like the
see in
rest of the
later
team too. So
episodes,
like Tech and
yeah,
then
yeah.
Echo, like they
She
all
also
help her as well. But
yeah,
like
in the most recent episode, she like learns how to like diffuse bombs or something. Well, I like this little thing. It was like kind of like a teaching moment where like she learned how to like diffuse bombs from like Wrecker or whatever. I don't know how Wrecker knows how to diffuse. I thought he was just like I didn't know he had like that type of intelligence, but whatever.
yeah,
So
but like speaking on that, like when we get to one of the episodes where we see the Martez sisters again from season 7, the
yeah.
Rafa and the other one, Trace,
Oh yeah,
sisters from season 7.
actually, they were annoying. They were like looking for some part, and it basically became like
It
a
just
hot
happened to be the
potato.
same part that they were looking for as well. Yeah.
It was like a hot potato part, which is kind of stupid. And it was also like, should we leave her with like other girls or some shit like that? But they ended up taking her then. And then we got to the episode where Wrecker's
Well at the same part, the same episode, like Wrecker, like he hits his head on a
yeah.
pole, and it starts to trigger his inhibitor chip.
I, Now I
Right.
don't know how this happens because I'm pretty sure they've all taken like falls and shit, but it's like a specific. It's kind of like an avatar where it's like the specific point of your back triggers the avatar state or something
Yeah,
like that. But
yeah.
it's like
It
so it's
is
like your
because
head
like
gets.
it's like deep in the center of your brain, like from
That's what I'm saying. So
up here.
unless
So
that
like,
pole blocked him all the way through his skull and shit, which I don't know how that's possible,
yeah,
and like he starts to turn more and more, and then they have to go to like some outpost to like basically read do the surgery to like do something to the chip or whatever. Like that's also when they meet Rex again, right?
they meet Rex. Yeah,
Yeah, because Rex like he talks about how like Ahsoka and them which called were able to take out his chip or whatever like that. Like
My question about that episode is like, they go to a shipyard to like old Jedi cruisers, like a shipyard, and they are able to have power in them, I guess, and then they were able to, do the whole surgery thing. That
Well,
was like a
well,
bit,
the whole thing, which I think like this doesn't really get explained, but it's like Tech plus Echo. Like Echo is a machine, and Tech is like a genius. So it's like they can like make anything work.
yeah, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of like
suspend.
like it's kind of like in like TV shows like where it's like for instance like Arrow where it's like Felicity is so smart with like computers she can like she can like do random ass shit with it. It's like all right, so that I don't think that has a computer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like like for instance like she hacked into like the CPU of a car moving down the road. Like I know you're intelligent, and I know that's a possibility if the car has Wi-Fi, but it's like the car is moving away from you at a certain speed, and you're like fast to hack into this genius stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I just when you have like genius characters or something like that, or like technologically enhanced characters like Echo, because he's like part robot. He has a little arm thingy that he sticks in or whatever. It's like they can do like crazy shit when it comes to like electronics and stuff.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I mean, so like one of my things. So like in that episode, Wrecker he turns at one point, and he's like kind of like hunting them down. They have like this
yeah,
whole thing with him like hunting Omega, and he's about to shoot her, but then Rex he stuns him at the last second. Um, which is like, that you see like when his brain is like in the inhibitor chip mode, he's pretty intelligent in what he does, or like whereas comparatively before he is not really that, he doesn't seem that smart. But then like the next episode, he's diffusing bombs so easily and all that. Um, yeah, so you have that, and then you have Rex leaving. Rex says that I believe Rex is saying that he is going to trying to find a peaceful life after the war. And well, like, Hunter doesn't really understand that because like they've been bred to fight all their lives, but like I guess Rex was able to
I guess
change
that's
with
like
Ahsoka over the course
yeah.
of 3 years, which is like, yeah, that's fair.
To be
It
honest,
is
I
interesting.
think it's like I think it's because like I feel like they're gonna touch on this, but like since like being bred to fight and stuff like that, I feel like they're all like still kind of influenced by the inhibited chick in small ways. Because like Rex got his taken out, he no longer has that like that will. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why it's like the deserter is such a thing. It's like the inhibited chip makes it to where you want to be like a soldier and you want to follow orders and like even to a default, right? Like so I guess it's like like Hunter and Tech and all of them, like they're still like kind of influenced to an extent of the inhibitor chip. Now, how deep it is and whether they can fight it, that's a whole nother story. I don't think they're gonna do the same shit with like Wrecker turning or whatever, right?
Right.
But I feel like they're still gonna have that need to fight because of like because of like the name. That's like my personal opinion. I don't know. This could just be cap. Maybe it's just like
Yeah.
because they definitely been in just as many battles as like Rex or whatever. So like I can't. In Rex, like I don't know. Maybe it was the fact that he saw his own men turn on like Ahsoka, like his like one of his like a kid he saw grow up and like all this. Maybe it was that. Maybe it was like the emotional value. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing about Wrecker is like, he has super strength. Sometimes it's a bit inconsistent too. Like in the first episode he pushed 3 droid tanks like off a cliff, but like sometimes he has a hard time like lifting things. So it's like, I mean like,
Well,
I
it's
don't
like also
like,
weren't the droid tanks like also hovering? So
they
he's
were
not
like
really like
hovering and connected like by strings. It's a lot of
yeah
I feel like it's a lot of weight.
yeah. So I'm just gonna this is like this like pseudoscience physics it depends how much like what is it friction is under the the surface they're floating they're on air so and all the if there's not that much friction once he gets them to budge a little bit it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to keep it's just something to think about I know
Okay,
it's
okay.
pseudoscience like even like 1,000 or so pound like hover tank like you're gonna need a lot of force just to even make it budge. But it is like it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
Like
mean, yeah. And then this last episode, you have Crosshair, he learns where they are. He sends a whole squad to go after them. Um,
He even tries to fuck them. Like he doesn't he try to turn the engine on them or something like that.
yeah, he does. And like now, this was like this whole thing was like so Tech says like they should diffuse the circle around the engine so that it collapses. Now the only thing about that is like I don't know if it's like now that's like very lucky for that to happen the way that you wanted it to happen. Um, there's
I mean, all
that.
the debris and stuff, it fell on everybody except them. Like,
Except
yeah,
them,
that's
yeah, that's pretty lucky. So then this burns Crosshair from the engine. It doesn't kill him. It just like burns him though. And then we get to a point where Hunter and Omega are almost at the ship, and all of a sudden, you see a new player. You see Cad Bane comes out of nowhere.
and he's a
Uh,
bounty hunter. And
the bounty hunter.
at first they think he's like, oh, he's after us, but he's like, no, he's after Omega. And this is another thing where he's talking about like, so I'm talking about the powers being like inconsistent. Like Hunter's whole thing is like his senses and his reflexes. Like he can react fast, he can see fast, he can hear fast, whatever, smell, all this shit. Like and he duels Cad Bane. I know Cad Bane is like tough, right? Like
He's tough.
he's like an established like bounty hunter. So they
One thing,
duel,
just
and
like
and
his
he,
voice is so great. Just want to point that out there. But yeah, keep going.
but like so like they have this duel, and it's basically like if I win, we get to leave. If you win, you get
It's like a
Omega.
Western shootout, basically.
Yeah, it's like a Western shootout, and he loses like crazy. Like he doesn't even get like his gun up. Like that's like I'm like, come on, bro.
He
Like
gets.
your senses, like you're supposed to be able to react in like whatever type of
I think he
second.
tried to cross cross from the left side. I think or I'm not sure. Was it the
Well,
same
my whole
side?
thing is so this is the whole thing with like shooters. Like if my dominant hand is my right hand, my holster should be on my right hand too, so I can just go up like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if my gun, if I'm right-handed and my holster's on the left side, doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, I
Because this
think
is
that's what
more
happened.
area.
I'd have to watch it
I don't know
again.
why. That doesn't. I mean, usually
Because
like
yeah,
your holster.
Hunter should have super reflexes.
Yeah,
It's true.
yeah. So
It's
actually,
still you're at a
so
disadvantage when Cad Bane is on his same side, whereas
yeah.
uh,
You have to.
Hunter
It's just
is
more
cross
area. It's
hand.
just like more area you have to cover, which doesn't
Or
make any sense. I'm like you're military. You're supposed to know like that. Like your dominant hand supposed to be like on
yeah,
your
yeah.
host supposed to be on your dominant hand, but whatever.
So
And so he
yeah,
leaves.
they capture Omega. Part of me is like kind of glad because like she's gone for a few episodes now,
Yeah,
at least.
but we know what it's gonna be another formula. Like, it's gonna be like a bunch of episodes where they're like
They're
collecting
gonna try and
information of where
save
she
her,
could
basically.
where she could be, and it's like it better be worth it, bro. She bet like
It better be
that's all I'm gonna
worth.
say. It's been
Yeah.
so
So he
overall
so
Bad
Hunter does get
Batch.
injured from that. The chest plate it kind of like
Yeah.
knocks him out in a way. But yeah.
So I'm confused. This is another thing. So this is like inconsistency. Like, how strong is this stormtrooper armor? Like sometimes, like you get shot point blank with like Cad Bane's gun. I don't think Cad Bane had his safety on or whatever, or like the stun or whatever.
No, it
And it's
didn't.
like, and it's like it doesn't even pierce like flesh or anything like that, right? It's like it just hits the chest plates and shit. But then other times, lasers just chop through it and kill people. Like, what are we like? Like, are these different type of lasers? Or like
Yeah, that didn't make sense to me.
that's always been something in Star Wars. It's
The
like when the
armor,
clone
the
trooper.
stormtrooper, the clone trooper armor is not always consistent. Like sometimes it works like perfectly, and then sometimes it's like it cuts through like butter. Like
And obviously the Mandalorian armor has always kind of been overpowered. So like we never really like
yeah,
for instance it always has been like
Beskar is a bit
lightsabers,
too
but
OP, but
like
yeah, that's a
that's
different convo.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So overall, what I was saying is like, I mean, I don't hate it, but like my problem is like, I just feel like one, I can't stand Omega. That's one thing. Two, I feel like each episode is like getting like they're too formulaic. Like it's Omega makes a mistake and they have to save her for most of these episodes. Or and then most like almost all the episodes have like a cameo from a Star Wars property in the past, like either Clone Wars or Mandalorian or Rebels. You always have someone like coming in and being in the plot. And it's like that's like one thing I was a bit worried about because like the Bad Batch, I felt like they're like an interesting. I feel like they're an interesting team. They remind me of the Ninja Turtles, like Hunter is like Leo, Wrecker is like Michelangelo, Donatello, Tech, and Crosshair was like Raphael. So it
Yeah.
made sense to me. Um, they have like interesting dynamics and all that. Um, but the thing is, like with the Bad Batch, it's like a lot of it feels like as a show, it feels like here's the new cameo for this surprise character for this episode, or like
And let me just
let's
speak on that.
protect.
Cameos can be really good and really nostalgic, and it gives you like the loyal fans who've like been here since like so long. And me like that have seen Clone Wars and like all these and like Rebels and all these other shows. Like so we knew about Young Kanan. Like when it's done sparingly, it's like let's say every 5 episodes you have a cameo, it's like fine. But then it's like this one is like, all right, so here's a new character, and
So
here's a new
here's
character, and
Rex.
here's a
The
character.
next episode, here's Cad Bane. Like what?
Yeah, it's
What Cad Bane? Like, don't
like
get me
like
wrong. I love Cad Bane as a character. Don't get me wrong, but like it was so weird to see him on this planet at this time. Um,
yeah. To be honest, to be fair, if they another thing is if they just cut Trace and the other bitch out, we don't need her. Sorry. There's not a female thing. We cut Rex out or just make it some other clone that's not that we don't know about or whatever, right? So it doesn't have to be Rex, right? And then it just the last one we see is Cad Bane. Because if it's just Cad Bane, I'd be like, oh, Cad Bane, this is so random. This is so weird. Why is Cad Bane here? Obviously, they have to explain that and how he found it, but like that's fine. But like when you
right.
have like, all right,
But
so
then it's
Trace
like
and
now we're at a
and
point like
Rex,
again they have the Asian bounty hunter from Mando,
yeah,
and then it's like
yeah,
so is she really that high of a priority? Like that like every bounty hunter is like I mean I get it like if you pay money you pay money like it doesn't matter which bounty hunter will come and get her. Then it's like so is Boba Fett gonna show up eventually? Because like I don't know. Plus the Kaminoans were talking about a genetic thing that they need to copy again. So it's like I feel like Boba Fett would be the logical option because like he isn't tampered with the clones' genetic code where they double in age, but he's normal. Since Jango Fett said he should be the only one that isn't that doesn't age like them. So it's like now it's like that. He's also a bounty hunter himself. He's still like I have to check on the age. I think he should be 13 by now, 14 at this point. Yeah, so like that's my whole thing about it, and it's like Omega's a little girl, like that's the other thing, and it's like yeah, the Bad Batch are really good at fighting until sometimes they're uh,
not good at
not good at fighting at some points. Yeah, so that's my whole thing. I don't hate the show. It's just like, but I feel like there's a lot of like things that is keeping
yeah,
me from liking it more. Uh,
a lot of issues, a lot of issues.
uh,
But
anything you want to talk about overall?
nah, that was really it. I guess we're gonna see what episode 9 entails, and we're also when Loki gets done, like we said, we're gonna do a Loki review. Loki, I like episode 2 way better than episode 1, but I guess we'll talk about that in another video. But that was kind of it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so that was the halfway season one, maybe season or just one season. Who knows? That's halfway through the season. The review for the Bad Batch. Shaq, is there anything you'd like to talk about your channel?
Go subscribe to 301 Reacts. We put up reaction content. We stopped doing that because we're gonna. You should look up 301 Entertainment. We're gonna put up like a couple of basketball videos, a couple anime videos, a couple skit type videos. We're gonna the anime Olympics. The Olympics is coming, so we're gonna do the anime Olympics. We're actually doing the Olympic trials right now, so it is what it is. But yeah,
Yeah, so the links will be in the description down below. If you like reviews and opinions on movies, comics, TV shows, and video games, you can subscribe to my channel, Red Devilos Reviews, for more of that content. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Peace.